Hey everybody, Max here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Operation Monster Force Mop Water. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Operation Monster Force Ghost in the Shell. I think that one's taken. Operation Monster Force Ghost Protocol. That was a pretty good Mission Impossible movie. Operation Monster Force Shadow Man. Wait, that one's taken too. Darn it. Actually, guys, this is the Joefest 2025 convention exclusive Lieutenant Griffin the Eraser. This is his electronic detection stealth mode. So that's why he is the color of mop water. I it's kind of interesting to me that this is the second Joefest exclusive that's translucent of this figure, but we have yet to get the actual figure. I yeah, just kind of annoys me. I know that there's all kinds of reasons for why we haven't gotten the visible version of this guy in the official packaging and all of that, but it's cool that we're getting some of these exclusives. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really crazy with the color scheme. I understand why they might have chosen this color, but I was kind of hoping for something, something along the lines of, I don't know, kind of like this, like kind of a dark violet blue. I've got this UV light on it. I don't know. I would have probably preferred something like that, or maybe like a swirling color, like a mixture of colors or something like that, as opposed to this darker one. I almost passed on it because of that, but I do like the figures. I have a few already. I hope that was it Fresh Monkey Fiction and the Big Bad Workshop? I hope everything they can get things straightened out and some of the figures can start coming our way. I think the rise in price has probably turned some people off, and the delay. So fingers crossed we start getting these and things straighten out. We can start enjoying these figures again. But let's jump into the figure. Actually, let's do the accessories because I usually do that first. Now, one of the things I do like quite a bit about this, one of the accessories that comes with this figure is this clear plastic high-power rifle, which is really awesome design and has a suppressor, and it is on there. Be very careful. It's on there tight. I had to kind of twist it in a little bit, but it has a port for blast effects and everything. But really cool. I don't think this is the same rifle that comes with Declan or the Delta Red. I have those two figures. So it has a dropout magazine, the only magazine that it comes with. But it's really cool. The design and everything, and it's largely completely clear. Now, like I said, there's this figure has a. I guess I'll show you in the hands. That might illustrate it. There's clear plastic, but as it gets to the fingertips, it darkens up. So there is some shading, I guess. There's some shading in some detailed shading. Like it's not just one uniform dark color. I mean, it starts out clear at say at the base of the wrist and then gets darker as you go. So he has the two kind of open hands, and you can see the dark fingertips, and these are gloved hands. And then the C grip hands, and then fists. And I'm a bit of a sucker for translucent figures anyway, so that was another reason why I bought this guy, because, well, he's just translucent. I just think those are cool. I just wish it was a different color. So, and then he has two trigger finger hands. He has wrappings around his wrist and forearms, and so this goes on the right one. I just took it off to kind of show you that it is there, because honestly, I didn't notice it at first because it just blended in so well. And it's a very soft plastic, but you can hopefully see the designs in the wrapping and everything. If you've seen the promo pictures for the actual like visible figure, it's pretty obvious that what these are. The digital renders and all that shows you that. And then there's also a wristband. Well, I guess it's kind of like an extension of the gloved, of the glove. So it's just kind of there, just floating piece of plastic to kind of show that it's attached to the glove. and then you have the bare arms there, and then there's the wrapping on that one, and you can tell the gradation, maybe that's the word I was looking for, of coloring. So it's not just clear plastic, it's kind of a subtle, kind of smoky color, right? So, and that's done very well. I'm not going to fault it for that. I just don't like the color, just because I don't like the color. So let's see. We have he comes in the package. He just came in a plastic baggie. He didn't come in a nice box like any of the other Operation Monster Force figures. But he comes with this oversized vest. It pegs on and off very easily. It feels a lot softer than the vests of the other two figures that I have. And it's very well done. I mean, there's a lot of texturing. There's a little bit of a color bleed or just excessive, like maybe the color got dropped right there. I don't know if they have like a little dropper and they're just dropping it around. I don't know how they do this thing, but it comes with, you can peg stuff on and off of the vest, and you have this decorative. I mean, it's a knife, but it's not. It's just molded plastic. It's just there for decoration, and it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I like the modularity of these figures. I guess I didn't. I was surprised that this would do that, or there wasn't any kind of replacement option. You know, like they didn't have a little more accessory, something that we could put there in place of these, because they're molded specifically to go right and left. They're not going to fit. You can't swap them out. So, and then this one's just some uh, molded plastic pouches and that sort of thing. So, um, I don't. I think this is not going to be. I think from according to the promo pictures, this is not the actual vest that he's going to be coming with. He's coming with more of the standard vest that we've seen with Declan. So there's a lot more accessories that come with the standard figure. So I'm not sure who this vest actually goes to, but it just doesn't fit this figure. It drapes over. You put it on and it doesn't come down all the way. Even though no matter how much you pull it down, it doesn't quite rest on the shoulders, and that's just a bit of a disappointment. It just doesn't fit right. It's meant for a different figure, a bigger figure. So I wish they had given us something different than this. It looks cool, and I'm sure on a figure that this fits, it will look even better. But it doesn't really look good on this guy. So what I do like is the shoulder holster, but even this is too big, and I've had to use some handy tack to try to just keep it down a little bit, because it wants to float up. I haven't done this yet. I'm going to probably heat it up and see if I can mold it a little better. However, the plastic is so soft, I don't know if that's really going to work. I'm going to try it, but we shall see. Otherwise, I want it to look more like this. Like it just needs a little extra material taken out of it, and so the handy tack on the back has been helping with that. Comes with a knife. Very cool. Hopefully you can see that. Very solid. Don't let your kids play with this. It will definitely poke them. So there's a peg hole obviously in the back of the shoulder holster. It's not long enough. I was hoping that it would peg into the hole and hold it securely there. So there is a peg hole on the back for backpacks and things, but it's not, the peg for the knife is not long enough. So, but that's just a place to put it. And it works for me. I like it. So he has these two. He's got the Walther, goes in the shoulder holster. It's very snugly. It fits very well. And then he has his, I think this is a Beretta Centurion, 9mm, and it has the thigh holster, and it goes in right there. So I like this look. You know, he's a stealthy guy. I wish there were suppressors for the pistols, like there is for the rifle. And oh, he has goggles. So goggles, soft plastic, subtle shades of black and gray, and they go over his eyes so he can see while he is invisible. And so that's cool. And let's see, is there anything else he comes with? Oh, he comes with the Operation Monster Force stand. It is clear. It doesn't have his name on the stenciled on the bottom. I was hoping for that, but I do like these stands quite a bit, and it feels pretty solid. And I guess just in keeping with the invisibility. I guess I was expecting his name to be etched in like clear plastic or just into the plastic or something like that. I think the others have their names in red. So it comes with a stand. That's great. That's pretty much all it comes with. Getting into the figure, and this is where more of my complaints come, because I don't know if this is just due to the plastic of it feels flimsy in places. He has a floating neck with a disc hinge, and he can look down that far, and he can look up that far, and good rotation and all that kind of stuff. Side to side, he can get into some good neck poses, and I do like the sculpting of the bandages even on the neck piece. I mean, that is very cool. Like I said, this is my most anticipated figure. Next in the line is the ERASER figure, so I want to see him in his visible, and I like the options, the things you can change out, the accessories and all that. So that's why it's kind of disappointing that this guy has some loose joints, and just kind of feels a little flimsy, and that's very disappointing. I wonder if others have had the same trouble, but there's the neck articulation. He gets really good T-pose, higher than a T, and his arms go all the way around and everything. He's got the bicep swivel and his pinless arms and or knees and elbows and everything. So there's that. And even though, like I said, I like transparent or translucent figures, even though you can see the joints and stuff, the mechanisms and all that. Willing suspension to disbelief, right? It's an action figure, but that doesn't really bother me at all. But arms are pretty good, and the butterfly joints are pretty solid too. They're not creaky like my Declan figure. So this is the same base body as Declan, and this was my first Operation Monster Force because he's the first one. And obviously it's different plastic. I don't know the differences. I don't know what it might be, but you can hear the kind of creakiness of the plastic. You don't really hear that with this guy here. So it's a little more fluid, a little more smooth, and which is great. You have disc hinges on the wrists, vertical, rotates around. And then we get to the diaphragm cut, and this is where things get a little loosey-goosey because he's a little going side to side. I know you can't really see it, but I can feel it. It's just, it's just a little flimsy there, and this happened to me today. I was just kind of moving it around, and it very easily just pops off, and that bothers me. Same on the right arm. Good texture and sculpting on the folds of the fabric for the sleeves and everything. There's some good rotation at the waist, and he bends forward okay, but then if you go too far back, he's going to fall apart, and you have to put him back together, which, I don't like that. I don't like that, and I'm seeing the usage of some Mod Podge in the future for this guy, which bugs me, or I'm going to have to maybe Dremel out some more material out of this lower torso. We'll see how that works. And then comes to my biggest complaint of the figure, which is how loose right here, how loose the hips are. It's just, when he's standing, just standard, just static, just straight up and down, there's it just kind of, there's just too much wiggle on both legs right there at the hips. And I've been seeing this a little bit too often. I'm wondering, I'm seeing that in the same area, seeing it on Veloverse, seeing it on Classified. I don't know what the issue is, unless it has something to do with the hip joints, the pegs, or is it just these guys just all manufactured by the same people, and they're just having some issues right here when it comes to manufacturing the hip joints for these figures. So he kicks high about 90 degrees. There is drop down hips, so with the drop down hips he kicks a little past 90, and there's also a little looseness in the thigh swivel, at least on the left leg. Right leg's not too bad. That's pretty good, but there is just just some looseness that bugs me, and this is not what I was expecting from a exclusive figure. So yeah, and then we have kicks back that far. The knee joints or knee pads are the same as the Delta Red figure, so some difference between this base body and the Declan body. And getting down, there's no boot swivel or ankle swivel, which is unfortunate. But his feet go that far back. But if you pull too far, foot comes right off. So don't pull too far down. And he goes forward that far. So the feet will come off without much trouble. This one too, and there's not much of a peg on the end, and that kind of bothers me a bit. So Mafix does that, which is surprising considering how much they charge. So I would think a peg would be good right there. So this is Mr. ERASER in his EDS mode, so that's where he can avoid electronic detection. So this is my little backdrop. I'm experimenting with some new backdrops, and this is my little underground lair, bad guy lair, whatever. And he would need that. He would need the EDS for getting around some kind of high-tech place. So yeah. So I still like the concept of the figure. I do hope that when the original standard figure comes out, he's better than this. I imagine he will be because the differences in plastic and everything. However, when you sell something for 40 bucks at a convention and it's an exclusive, I would want it to be a little more put together, a little less loose, and just have more bang for the buck. There needs to be more value. I think they should have come with more accessories, but it's unique to Joefest 2025, and so at least I can say I have that. Sorry to grouse so much, but I have to be honest about what I'm seeing here. I wonder if other people, I know there's other reviews out there of this guy. I wonder if they're having the same issue. So I'm probably going to put some Mod Podge here in the hips, and I don't think it will show up very too bad because that's one of the darker places on the figure. But I'm going to have to give this guy a warp factor of 6. I think just the price tag and what you come with, and then what I'm seeing here, just the feel of the figure, and the fact that I'm going to have to do some tweaking. That lowers it quite a bit. Am I still going to get the standard figure? Absolutely. Yep. I expect it'll probably be a whole lot better, but I will probably pass on any future translucent exclusive figures from Fresh Monkey Fiction. Sorry guys, this one just kind of soured me a bit. So anyway, warp factor of 6. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Picked up some new subscribers, and I really appreciate all of you. I certainly hope to make 500 by the end of the year, and I appreciate those of you who have been with me from the beginning. Like, share, and subscribe. Get the word out if you like the content. If you have suggestions on what I could do differently or what you would like to see, hey, feel free. Let me know. I will see what I can do. No promises, no guarantees, but hey, I'll see what I can do. All right, guys, continue to be awesome. Warp factor of 6, and I'll talk to you next time.